Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Friday, November the 12th, 2000, November the 11th, 2022. Friday, November the 11th, 2022. Well, we have Billy and Sharon deciding on how they're going to go about talking to Adam and and what's the best way to, let Connor know. And I thought, no, no, no. It's not your choices on how to let Connor know. But yes, it's about time you're going to let Adam know. They're not the deciding factor in all things Chelsea. I was just like, oh my God, they're still playing around with that. Sharon, you of all people know it's way past time, right? So he says, so Adam is at society actually talking to Sally. She walked in and sees him and she's talking to him. And he gets a text from Billy. He goes, wow, because he said, I don't know what's going on with Chelsea. I haven't spoken to her in days. I do think Billy has something to do with it, but I don't know. So he got the text and he said, well, look, here's the text from Billy and Billy. So he goes to Crimson and Billy and Sharon sit him down and they tell him that there was an incident, and Chelsea is getting help, in a facility. And Adam's like, wait, inpatient? Why not outpatient? What happened? Because he don't have a clue. And so they said, well, Chelsea is ready to talk to you about it. She wants to be the one to tell you. But this is where it happened. I mean, this is where she is. So he's happy that they told him, and he goes to see Chelsea. He knew something was up because back in the back of his mind, that whole rooftop thing wasn't right with what he saw, right? So when he gets there, he sees her, she sees him, he comes in and she shuts the door and she turns around, and believe it or not, they immediately hug each other. See, Billy is wrong about a lot of things where Chelsea and Adam are concerned right now, where they are in their relationship now, period. She hugged him crying. He hugged her very emotionally. I mean, because they are like this. Chelsea is closer to Adam than she ever was Billy, because she was never close to Billy. Never. Right? So Billy just saved her now, which is going to actually make some kind of bond there because he saved her. But Adam, she talked about it. He knew what happened because he goes, what happened? And he goes, did what I saw on the roof, like, did that have anything to, and and he goes, okay, he knew then you were going to jump, right? Because she was just saying how she just wanted all of the pain, everything to just stop. And he didn't make her relive it because he knew what she was going to do, right? And so she goes, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. And he's like, no, you don't know what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is thank God for Billy. He said, because I did not have a clue, Chelsea, that things had gotten this bad. And I am so sorry that I didn't know. You know, thank God Billy was there for you, which was the right thing for Adam to say. And so, the way their whole conversation ended up, it's he's gonna handle talking to Connor, and he's gonna take care of Connor, which of course until Chelsea, gets out. And he's like, anything you need from me, Chelsea, I'm here. And she was saying, well, she's, believe it or not, she's got Sharon and of course Billy and her doctors. And when she kind of said, of course Billy, he didn't balk at it, but in his mind he's thinking, yeah, Billy, of course Billy, right? But he didn't make no issue. He left it all about Chelsea, and he just talked to her and just was there for her. Okay. So that was really, really good. And then the only other thing, we've got Noah and Allie. They're happy. They're kissing at the crimson lights and talking about their plans. And Audra, she's at the door and she's looking at him and she's just thinking. She's thinking, I'm going to mess this up. I'm going to mess it up. So Noah gets up and they kiss. Noah gets up, walks right past her. I mean, he looks at her and she's like, hi. And he just walks right past her. Allie doesn't see her. So she turns around and goes right behind Noah, right? Noah goes to the club. Guess who comes into the club? And he goes, why are you here? And oh, she goes, because, we mattered. And then she's talking about, this, that we meant a lot. We were, she's still bringing up the old, and what we meant to each other. He goes, that's history. That's old. And no, it was toxic. And so she goes, I had no idea you were leaving like the way you did. And he goes, I had to get away from that, period. Right. And so she's like, then she comes up with this story. Well, during that time, we were arguing. I found out I was pregnant. And I didn't tell you because we were arguing a lot. And then one day you just left. And I found out you went to go stay with your friend. Now, you want to know how naively stupid Noah is? He already told her what a hot mess she was. She's destructive. She is. So a destructive woman, one that loves to cause chaos. He said, you love chaos. When she finds out she's pregnant, what does she do? Let's be real. She uses that pregnancy like just for whatever it's really not supposed to be used for. She will use that. She knew where he was. He was staying with his friend. She said she found out he was staying with his friend. She would have told him in order to drag him right back into the relationship with her. But I decided that I would, I wouldn't tell you, until later. But then I had a miscarriage. And it was the most hard, painful thing I've ever had to go through in my life. And I went through it alone. You went through it alone because you didn't tell him. That's why you went through it alone. You didn't go through it alone because he walked away. You went through it alone because you didn't tell him. And I'm telling you, my gut is she was not pregnant. She's making that whole thing up. Or she was and she had that baby and that child is a year. I still think Noah is going to have a child. I mean, that's going to come into his life that Mariah and Tessa are going to raise. And I'm kind of thinking Audra did, if she ever got pregnant, she didn't have a miscarriage. She just doesn't want him to have access to the child. If in fact she was ever pregnant. Otherwise, the chick was never pregnant. Period. I just wanted to know that after all that pain and all that loss, that I mattered, that we mattered. And what does Noah do? What does Noah do? Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't. Oh my goodness. She fell right into her web. And I said, well, I'll be. That's how stupid you are. See, because no, it wouldn't be that emotional. Seriously. She's telling you about something you never knew about. In a volatile, horrible relationship, he would not be that emotional with it. Seriously. It's not like they had already, they planned to have a family together. They were married. None of that. In his mind, he's thinking, goodness, dodged a bullet, but I can't let her know I'm relieved right now. Gotta be sensitive, right? But dodged a bullet because this chick is crazy. She's toxic. She's chaos, right? Well, what does Noah do? Oh no. And then of course they have Allie walk in and stop, and she sees this. So this time Allie will probably walk out, because soon as Noah, and he's crying, he's crying. I'm thinking, why are you crying, Noah? Did you ever want a kid? What do you, what? You know? And so as he's hugging her, he's teared eyes, she's opening her eyes like, got him. I knew exactly what to say. Got him. And I'm surprised that on Monday they're not going to show her look right at Allie. Now, what Allie needs to do is what she did on any other time. She needs to walk in there and say, hey, what's going on, guys? Seriously, what's going on? And see, and that would break Audra's hold right there. That would break the moment. Audra would either say, Noah and I were discussing something personal. And then I would look at Noah and say, oh, okay, what is it, Noah? Yeah, there we go. I would break it and get Audra right on up out of there, because Audra would see, that is what Audra needs, is a dose of, no, that's what Noah needs, a dose of his new reality. Not no blast in the past, we stuck in a time warp. No. So that for him to be so gullible. And the funniest thing, everybody, when you look at those two, Audra and Noah, are they even a match? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. His type of personality doesn't even gel with a woman like hers. And I guess that's why they didn't work out, but it wouldn't be now, it just wouldn't be. So needless to say, that's what happened there. Now, Billy, and first it starts out with Jill talking to Lily, saying she's got to figure out, how to help with her half of the, see, and Jill, even in all her conversations, she talks about, I own half of the company. She owns half. Devon owns the other half. So Jill knows she cannot make autonomous decisions for the whole company, period, right? So Devon is just being so distracted with causing all this mess in his own household, but he better get his head back in the business. Because Jill is like, okay, I got to figure out, pretty much said, I got to get you some help in here. Because she does. She needs some help in there. Bring back Cain. Bring back Cain, right? And she said, I am so sorry. She goes, I paired you with Billy. Because she did. She put them together. Lily and Cain's divorce was final. Lily had just gotten out of prison. Lily really didn't have any roots. Lily not had just gotten out, because Lily, back where the prison was, she started this program to help prisoners, transition back into society, but Jill recruited her to come and work for Chancellor. And she recruited her to put her and Billy together. It just so happens they worked together. I mean, they gelled together. And she said, I put you with Billy so you would give him purpose. And she says, and I see that didn't work. And Lily's like, wait, don't get me wrong. Billy and I are still in love. And I'm thinking, yeah, but Jill is looking at her and not saying this. Yeah, but I know my son, and he's already going on this other path. Jill's seen it. Billy has never been in love with anyone more than he's loved Victoria. And once he gets on this path away, the path leads him away. It just does. And it's going to lead him away from Lily. Even he and Lily talked after Jill and Billy talked. I'm going to get back to Jill and Billy. he and Lily were talking, and he was just talking about how much he just completely understands Chelsea and what she's going through, because he's been there. It's this darkness, and once it takes over, you have no way out, and you have no one to turn to, and you this, that, and the other, and you feel like you're just completely alone. And I'm not gonna let her, be completely alone and feel that way, because I know what she's going through. And so Lily is saying, wait, okay, you feel you're all alone, you have no one to turn to. He goes, because I feel that way. And Lily said, wait, you mean past tense, right? You mean you felt that way before us, right? Because she's trying to say, wait a minute, I have been there for you and supported you and talked to you, and whatever you may or may not have been going through, I've been open with you for you to share your feelings and express them. And so Billy goes, yeah, no, I meant before you. He said, but even now, if it comes up, he goes, Lily, you won't understand. You can't relate to what I'm talking about because you haven't been there. And I am so surprised Lily didn't say, you know what? Don't tell me about depression. See, because when I really came to the realization that I was the one that caused the accident that ultimately Hillary and Devon's child died from. Oh, Lily was a hot mess. When Lily went to prison, oh, Billy doesn't know what kind of depression she felt there in prison. She should have said, wait, whoa. No. I've gone through some things, okay? But Lily doesn't, there is a difference. Going through depression because of a horrible event and suffering from a depression, just chronic depression through your life, it is different. Because I personally, I do know people, have friends that go through depression stages and cycles, and I never have. So I do relate and understand what he meant, because I know it. I've helped friends through it, but I've never felt it. So, okay, Billy, you got that one, right? But what he's telling her, Lily is really looking at him, and she's really listening to what he's saying. And some of what Jill said to her is ringing home now. Okay. Yikes. Houston, we're in trouble with our relationship. Lily is finally starting to see that, right? Listening to Billy. So anyway, Jill and Billy are talking, and she's just saying, son, you're going down a path, and it's a path that you've gone down before. And just, and Billy just said, Mom, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do next. And she goes, but that's the thing, Billy. You're running out of time. She goes, I'm trying to now, that's why I'm pushing for this IPO, so that I can really make sure I do the things that I want to do, because I'm running out of time. And you've never even gotten started. And you're at the age you are. I don't want you to run out of time, son. But ultimately, she goes, Billy, I love you with all my heart, and I'm going to always love you. So it didn't end, with the animosity from Jill. It wasn't that at all, but what was interesting, when Jill stood up, their conversation, because Lily went out for a meeting, and then she came back, she goes, oh, did I come back too soon? And Jill says, no, I'm getting ready to head out. And Billy looked at her, and he goes, I love you, Mom. She looks up at him. She looks over at him. Mm-hmm. And I thought, Jill, no, I love you back. But I guess she had already told him earlier. She's thinking, you better remember I said that on the couch a minute ago. Billy, I love you. She did. So Jill's she's never been a hands-on. But with Kane, oh my goodness. She loved Kane more than she's loved it. I think she loved Kane as much as she loved Philip. Really. She just loved her some Kane. So anyway, that was General. I'm Young and the Restless. Today, Noah is getting ready to be sent on an emotional roller coaster that he is gladly jumping on the roller coaster car for. He's jumping right on. He's like, open up the roller coaster door, let me jump on it, because Allie's getting ready to take him for a ride, and he's doing it all on his own. So, okay. Now let's go to Comic Corner. Corner says Hogan. Well, that's a long name. Hogan's handbag. I'm saying that wrong. Anyway, first comment. Didn't the Chancellor mention, wasn't it left to the lady who does the cleaning? I can't think of her name. Esther. What I thought happened. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought Esther could never be fired from her job. That's why Jill could never get rid of Esther. I don't really recall hearing arguments about Esther telling Jill, I own half of this mansion. I don't recall that. I mean, I've seen other comments, people saying, I think it's Jill and Esther. I just don't know if the deed is truly in Esther, because Jill would have bought her out. Jill would have bought Esther out of her holdings on the house, especially once Esther stopped working there. Once Chance and Abby moved in, Esther's moved out. And I really I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I just know that in the provisions where Esther had a job there as long as she wanted, and Esther was to be taken care of, and Jill could never fire Esther. That's why they used to have some really good fights in there years ago. LaShanta says, whatever we thought Diane was the one who turned in Jeremy Stark in. But she was talking to Tucker about, that's not the whole thing about the Jabot records. So you could be right about that. And let's see, the Foxy Lady 14 says, Diane has put a spell on you, you gullible Jack. Diane with her wicked self, satisfying smirk. Yep, she does. Every time she notices, regardless of what Jack says, his he's caught up in her web of deception. It's true. No matter what he says to her, she still comes right back and she gets him. She wears him down so easy, but nobody else can. Nobody else can, right? LaShanta says, my point exactly. He doesn't deserve Phyllis. I can't wait for him and Kyle to get egg on their face. I hate Phyllis is going to lose her friend. Amanda did the right thing because he cheated on her before. Miss Chancellor owned half and Jill owned half. You know what? You're right. Somehow, maybe when Catherine's husband died, he left half of the mansion to Jill and half to Catherine, which is why Jill would plant herself in that house every chance she got. But when she married John, of course she moved out. But that could be it. I can't remember enough of that history with the Chancellor Mansion. So, you know what? Everybody kind of refresh me on that. LaSentra said, oh my God, you said it. I knew Noah and Allie would have problems. Yep. And Medora says, I may be wrong, but the doctor says Chase had a temporary condition. He did. That medication could correct. Yeah, he definitely. Chase's condition was temporary. They just didn't know when medication would correct it, but he never started medication or took it, or even time could correct, right? I don't know why they felt they had to have a baby right then. I don't know, don't get it, and whatever, right? And then Libby said, because what the problem was, it was Abby. Abby Chase's sperm count, and Abby had scarring, so her uterus wasn't well enough to carry a baby right then. But you know what? Abby did no medical procedures. There were so many different things that the couple could have taken the time to get corrected, but they just had to have a baby right now. And actually, that was more Abby than anything. That was more Abby than anything. And Libby says, I'm glad Dito's talked me into staying. The plot's getting good, even though Abby and Devon's hot hookup was bizarre. It sure was. The suspense was fantastic. The crazy writers are throwing in these illogical sexcapades. I'm surprised Phyllis and Amanda didn't end up in the sack. LOL. That is funny. I'm confused. Isn't Tucker acting like Diane hasn't told about Jeremy Stark? But she did. Yes, she did. She told about Jeremy, but look, Diane has never told everything about anything. There's a lot more that we don't know about her and Jeremy, and Tucker knows it. Okay, Tucker is secretly planning to take over Jabot, but Diane had way more involvement, and there's other things that's going to come out about Diane. Thank you for helping Ditos and I contact each other. Ladies, you are welcome. Goodness, hopefully now you all can really develop your offline friendships. So I was so happy to be a catalyst of that, and I'm happy you guys are conversing now. Dito says, Diane only told Jack about Jeremy. She didn't tell Ashley. He didn't tell Ashley. No, he didn't. He didn't tell Ashley at all about Jeremy Stark. Also, daily recap, lady, my knowledge is the house was left to Jill and Esther. Okay. It was one post and comments of a friend, Eva. She predicted that Jeremy, and Diane are married. Probably. Libby, you gave me heck there for about Victoria, and look at what you said about Amanda and Phyllis. LOL. I think Abby and Chance would have had a better situation if they had a baby with an anonymous donor. Yes, I do too. I think that's why Chance really has problems bonding with Dominic. Well, he's had problems bonding with Dominic, yeah, because they know Dominic's daddy, and Chance wasn't there, when Dominic was even born. Dominic was, goodness, 6 months old, easy. And Libby says, I don't remember what I said about Victoria. And then Dito said, you gave me a hard time when I said that Victoria was so tight, being so tight because she hadn't had any nookie in 6 months. LOL. Okay. And then Libby says, LOL, you're so naughty. I didn't remember that. But I wasn't too mean. No, you weren't mean. I remember that. It was because I thought it was kind of funny. Anyway, when that was said. But anyway, that is it for The Young and the Restless. Let's see what next week happens in the land of Genoa City. I will be back next week for another daily recap.